He who loses wealth loses much. He who loses a friend loses more. But he that loses his courage loses all. I know who I am and who I may be if I choose. 3 things too much and 3 too little are pernicious to man: to speak much and know little, to spend much and have little, to presume much and be worth little. Never stand begging for that which you have the power to earn. Take my advice in life for a long, long time, because the maddest thing a man can do in this life is to let himself die. Woman's advice has little value, but he who won't take it is a fool. All kinds of beauty do not inspire love. There is a kind which only pleases the sight, but does not captivate the affections. Fortune may have yet a better success in reserve for you, and they who lose today may win tomorrow. True valor lies between cowardice and rashness. The reason for the unreason with which you treat my reason so weakens my reason that with reason I complain of your beauty. Be slow of tongue and quick of eye. Make it thy business to know thyself, which is the most difficult lesson in the world. A man without honor is worse than dead. Too much sanity may be madness, and the maddest of all, to see life as it is, and not as it should be. To be prepared is half the victory. In order to attain the impossible, one must attempt the absurd. The knowledge of yourself will preserve you from vanity. The gratification of wealth is not found in mere possession or in lavish expenditure, but in its wise application. There are only 2 families in the world. My old grandmother used to say, the haves and the have-nots. One man scorned and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars, and the world will be better for this. Fear has many eyes and can see things underground. Liberty as well as honor man ought to preserve at the hazard of his life, for without it life is insupportable. The bow cannot always stand bent, nor can human frailty subsist without some lawful recreation. Love and war are the same thing, and stratagems and policy are as allowable in the one as in the other. Truth may be stretched, but cannot be broken, and always gets above falsehood, as does oil above water. Time ripens all things, no man is born wise. That's the nature of women, not to love when we love them, and to love when we love them not. Laziness never arrived at the attainment of a good wish. It seldom happens that any felicity comes so pure as not to be tempered and allayed by some mixture of sorrow. Diligence is the mother of good fortune, and idleness, its opposite, never brought a man to the goal of any of his best wishes. I have always heard that doing good to base fellows is like throwing water into the sea. For a man to attain to an eminent degree in learning costs him time, watching, hunger, nakedness, dizziness in the head, weakness in the stomach, and other inconveniences. I believe there's no proverb but what is true. They are also many sentences and maxims drawn from experience, the universal mother of sciences. Well, there's a remedy for all things but death, which will be sure to lay us flat one time or other. There is also this benefit in brag, that the speaker is unconsciously expressing his own ideal. Humor him by all means, draw it all out, and hold him to it. When the severity of the law is to be softened, let pity, not bribes, be the motive. 'Tis ill talking of halters in the house of a man that was hanged. To withdraw is not to run away, and to stay is no wise action, when there's more reason to fear than to hope. Modesty, 'tis a virtue not often found among poets, for almost every one of them thinks himself the greatest in the world. There is nothing so subject to the inconstancy of fortune as war. 'Tis the only comfort of the miserable to have partners in their woes. One of the most considerable advantages the great have over their inferiors is to have servants as good as themselves. Until death, it is all life.